Hello, Brickdark here. Today I'm reviewing the LEGO Star Wars Rebels TIE Advanced prototype, which has 3 minifigures, 355 pieces, and retailed for $40 back when it released in 2015. So, the first figure is probably the most interesting part of the set, in my opinion, and it's the Grand Inquisitor. A completely exclusive character to this set. We never got him anywhere else, and it's also one of only 2 sets to contain this special lightsaber hilt, and the other one being in Captain Rex's ATTE from the next year. And it works like a standard lightsaber blade. You attach these translucent red bars into the hilt itself, but it is circular. You can't really activate the spinning function like you see in the show, which is a bit of a shame, but I completely understand. Plus, you can probably just spin it like that, and it works well. They include his helmet when he pilots the thing, and underneath is a quite scary face, honestly, for young kids. This could probably scare a little 4-year-old. Probably not much older than that, I would hope, but still, it's quite a scary face to be in a Lego set. But it does capture the essence of the character well. This shoulder piece also can hold the lightsaber. There's a clip on the back, which is a very nice feature. You also got the Imperial insignia on the shoulder plates, some leg printing, and then if we remove the head, you can see some more torso printing. Underneath, he looks pretty damn weird without the attachment, but I'm just gonna show you him like this. This is probably the way most people will display this. I think it's the cooler way. I'm not a huge fan of this helmet they included. I mean, it's nice, I guess, but it takes away from that coolness factor when it's off. But yeah, that's about it for the Grand Inquisitor. Really cool figure. And he was definitely the best part of Season 1, in my opinion. And he's probably the best part of the set as well. Here's just a generic Imperial officer, which I'm not a huge fan of the design, since we never see any Imperial officer in a tan getup in the entirety of Rebels. In all 4 seasons, we never see any Imperial officer in a tan getup, nor do we see it anywhere else in Star Wars. It's always gray or olive green, never tan. I mean, the printing looks fine, and it's nice to get the hat piece. This one has, I don't know if that's supposed to be a marking, dirt, I don't know, whatever it is, but I find it kind of ugly and off-putting. You have his control cylinder on the side, as well as his rank, which I think this signifies him as a captain. I'm not entirely sure. He also had a new face print for the time, which I always thought this face print would fit npesta well. I dropped the hat down the side, which is awesome, but I feel like this face print could accurately represent if someone made a custom Lego npesta. If you know who that is. If you don't, well, maybe it's better you don't. But he does have a small blaster rifle, and that's about it. Decent figure. He did also come in the Imperial Assault Carrier, which was a decent set from, I think, later in 2015. It might have been a Toys R Us exclusive, but yeah, not too hot on this figure. Finally, we have the Rebels TIE Fighter pilot, which came in a couple of sets, including a microfighter, so this isn't the cheapest way to get him, but he's not too common, unlike the Stormtroopers, so it's pretty nice nonetheless. It does have a different print, which shows it as a more frowny design. Now, some people say they despise this, other people say it's fine. I'm on the side that thinks it's fine. It's a stylistic choice that I think is okay. It's acceptable, unlike the old Clone Wars eyes. Those were just awful. This one, yeah, it might look a bit cartoonish, but it helps differentiate, the different troopers from the darker movies from Rebels. And I know Rebels can get a bit dark, especially in Season 2, but it's still pretty lighthearted for most of the show, and so having this kind of signifies a difference between Rogue One and Rebels. Underneath, it's the Angry Clone face. This is pre-2020, before they changed the Angry Clone face. And then there's also the Life Tank, which I will say, I wish they changed up this mold or had just a mold of the life tank so you could have it so it looked like it's attached, because having it just flat on there just does not look right because it comes out pretty far. I don't know, that's just a little issue I have with it, but it's not too big of a deal. He comes with a little blaster pistol. Not too much else going on with this figure. It's a nice figure. It's not an offensive figure. I don't find it really bad like with the officer, but it's just an okay figure. It's a par for the course, good figure. So, here's the TIE Advanced prototype. Now, I'd be lying if I said I didn't have my qualms with this set. Not that I think it's a bad set. I think it's a good set, and for what it's trying to replicate, it's good, but it's just not a very interesting set, in my opinion. Now, I think what also kind of hurts this set is, so if you look at this as, okay, this is a replacement for Vader's TIE Fighter, but then next year we would get a Vader's TIE Fighter that was more decked out and looked way better than this one. And it's kind of like, well, now this one is like the Inquisitor's TIE Fighter, and we don't really see this a lot. We see it predominantly in one episode, and it gets blown up in that episode. So, I mean, if they had included like an ability to blow it up and had it set in the parade, that'd be cool. That would definitely help differentiate. There's like $10 more and include some little fairground scenes and maybe Ezra and Chopper instead of like the officer figure. That'd be really cool. Or the minister. That'd be really cool. But alas, it is just the fighter. Now for the features of the fighter, each of these wings can fold out. And one thing I will say, it can stand with its wings open like this, which is a nice feature, because some vehicles, when you outstretch the wings, they cannot stand. So this is a nice one if you want to display it like this. And admittedly, it looks really cool like this, having the wings open. Just looks really cool and very menacing. There's two different like cockpit pieces. You have the main one up top, and then you have the classic TIE Fighter iconic one, little control panel on a droid piece. I'm gonna put the TIE pilot in, even though the Inquisitor is supposed to pilot it, because I don't feel like taking off the blades for the Inquisitor. You do have some spring-loaded shooters, which are the wrong color, I believe. The front, some sticker detailing throughout, some engine designs, and this is one of the earliest instances of a mechanism used to fire spring-loaded shooters without that's more than just pushing on them. They've done this a lot since then, since 2015, but what you would do is you would turn this and it fire out the missiles, which is a very cool feature. And it hides them very well, so they're not poking out the back here like with the B-Wing or the Special Forces TIE Fighter. They're just snugly hidden in here, and this is the mechanism that pushes them, and I really like that. It's probably one of the biggest pluses this set has for me. There's some little greebling bits that I like how they get the shaping down there. But yeah, there's not a lot going for this set, if I'm being honest. Like, I don't know, this is just a rather uninteresting ship. Like, it's a good model, it feels $40 worth when you're holding this in your hands. Like, yeah, okay, I didn't get ripped off, but just the ship itself I find rather uninteresting. Like, you look at this as a Vader's TIE replacement, but then we got a much superior advanced TIE just the next year, and that one came with an A-Wing. Now, I have this set, I don't have it built, but I don't know, so I don't really know what the consensus on that one is, but I'm pretty sure it was considered overpriced, so take that as you will. But I don't know, this one just, it seems like an uninteresting set to me personally. Like, I much rather would have gotten a TIE Bomber or a TIE Defender, since both of those are much more unique shapes, and they play a lot more They're a lot more prominent in Rebels than the TIE Advanced. Like I said, the TIE Advanced starring role is getting blown up in a parade, which, I mean, like, this set could have been a lot cooler, in my opinion, if they had kept, like, this TIE Advanced prototype, and then off to the side you had, like, a little fairground thing, and maybe with a way to explode it. That'd be really cool, and then you could have the Grand Inquisitor, a TIE pilot, Ezra, and Chopper, and the Minister, whose name I cannot remember right now, but it would still been a really cool character to get. Like, just this with 5 figures and $10 more would have been a great set, in my opinion, if they had added, like, the little parade things and the functionality to explode it. That would have been really cool, but alas, it is just the $40 ship itself. And once again, I don't think the model itself is bad. I just find it uninteresting, if you get what I mean. Like, this is a pretty background. This is like a big part of the background. Like, this is not a big part of Rebels at all. It's got 2 scenes really, and most of them are in the background. And I don't know, when we could have gotten something like a TIE bomber, like if they had just held off doing this, put the Grand Inquisitor in, like, I don't know, they'd put him on like some sort of like big lethal explosion thing, like the duel on, I forget whatever they're fighting on, but Kanan and Ezra versus the Grand Inquisitor. That'd be really cool. They just held off doing this and did a TIE Defender, preferably, or a TIE Bomber. Either or I would have been happy with, since both of those ships play a much bigger role in Rebels than the TIE Advance does. Instructions are pretty standard. I did like the Rebels artwork they had for the first half of 2015. 2015 was also the first year that they had the Disney logo on the sets, which was an interesting change. Now, the checklist, they only have the minifigures, they don't have the sets. For some reason, like, just take out this useless garbage and put in the sets instead. I don't think anyone would be upset that I can't go on to whatever the hell this is. So, there's the Rebels Stormtrooper Battle Pack, which I own, the Shadow Troopers Battle Pack, which I own, the AIT, which I don't own, and I never want to see, the T-16 Skyhopper, which I do own. Then there's this set, obviously, the ATDP, which I do want after watching all of Rebels. The Wookiee Gunship, which I don't want to get this set. I think it's a stupid set. It's a wasted slot for a Rebels thing. I don't think it's ever seen in Rebels. And it's just got a stupid design. I don't like it. The Hailfire droid, on the other hand, that's really good. Don't know why he's down here. Well, what set did he come in? I don't know. Oh, wait, no, I think he came into the Battle Droid Carrier thing, which I own the 2011 version. Pieces are broken because of age, but, yeah. This set was interesting. It was based off of the 2003 Clone Wars, which I think is interesting, but they chose the standard Episode 2 Anakin, random astromech, and then the only exclusive one is 2003 style Ventress, which, I mean, that's really cool, but I don't know, since it's probably the only, like, 2003 Clone Wars set we'll ever get. I don't know, it's kind of disappointing. Senate Commandos Battle Pack, for the hate it gets, I actually kind of like this, since I don't want to pay for the Venator or the Cad Bane Speeder Bike, so I do want to get that at some point. I own the Geonosis Troopers Battle Pack, and I did a review on it a couple months ago. And then there's Ezra's Speeder Bike, which was a really neat set I do want to get. I hate the Sabine, but that's not a fault of the set of its own. They just absolutely did Sabine a disservice. They got everything wrong. Like, Ezra's hair should be blue, which that's annoying, but that's not a big deal. Sabine, oh man, if I ever get a set with Sabine, you're gonna know just how much I absolutely despise the Sabine figure. But with that little rant aside, that's it for the instruction booklet. So, honestly, I've got very mixed feelings about this set. It's a solid model. I can't deny that. It's fairly priced. $40 feels just about right for this. Anything more would have been unacceptable, but for what it's worth, $40 fits the model well. The Grand Inquisitor figure is great. They nailed him. I don't really care for the helmet he has, but it's not too big a deal. You can just toss it to the side. But the ship itself is just very uninteresting. It does not play a big role in Rebels. It's in 3 scenes max, and 2 of them are in the background. And I know this was probably based on concept art, so not a lot could have been done. But still, it's not a very interesting set, I feel like. It's well built, yes. It's swooshable, yes. It's got play functions, yes. You can display it with its wings out. And I do really like that. It's probably one of the biggest pluses it has going for it, because it looks really damn cool when it has its wings folded out. And it can still stand. But I feel like a lot of people would see this and think, oh, this is Vader's TIE Fighter as a replacement. Like, since at the time we hadn't gotten a normal Vader's TIE Fighter that wasn't in, like, the Death Star. Since who knows how long, 2002, 2003, so seeing this, it's like, okay, this is cool. This is like a replacement because it's very similar in shape. It's very similar in size, sort of. And it's got a very similar look to it. But then, the very next year, they released a Vader's TIE Fighter that was superior to this in probably just about every way. Except maybe price, but it did come with an A-Wing, so that's up for debate. And so then you kind of look at this set, and it's like, well, it's got the Grand Inquisitor, it can stand with its wings out, and it looks pretty cool, but is it really worth it when I could pay $50 extra to get a bigger model? First off, with the Vader's TIE Fighter from 2016, it's a bigger model, plus it comes with an A-Wing, which was a solid model with a fine color scheme. So, I don't know. I just feel like this set is a bit irrelevant. I feel like it's not really worth buying. I feel like you're better off just buying the Grand Inquisitor figure separately, since neither of the other figures are, like, that interesting, especially the officer. I don't like the officer's outfit. But with all that considered, I would rate this a 7 out of 10. That might seem a bit high, but it is a solid model. It is well built. That's not something I can deny. It is fairly priced. The figure selection is fine. The Grand Inquisitor really does sell the set, being an exclusive character, but paying whatever it's going to be, $60 at least for this on eBay, I cannot recommend it. Unlike the B-Wing, which if you do like the B-Wing, I would definitely say get the B-Wing. That's a really nice set. It's good, it's solid, it feels modern. There hasn't been one in a while. It's just a good build. And the A-Wing that I reviewed on Sunday, I still feel like that has a bit more merit than this, because it's, again, a solid build, but it's specifically based off of the A-Wing that destroyed the Executor, which is really cool. And this one just kind of feels irrelevant once you take away the Grand Inquisitor. If you buy the Grand Inquisitor for, like, whatever it's going to be, $30 separately. Like, he makes up a lot of what this set's value. At least to me personally. So that's about it for this video. See you guys later. Peace.